Alright, so Mardu Aristocrats. This is a deck that we tried a little bit of last season. And my conclusions last season always came back to I preferred the deck to just be black-white because being more aggressive with Judith, you just didn't really have the payoffs for that to be something you wanted to be doing. That being said, Cruel Celebrant kind of turns that on its head. So, like, this is like an extra similar Judith-style effect. So, like, Judith, this, Mayhem Devil, to a degree, also works well with that. Notably on Mayhem Devil, though, this card's kind of sweet. It says when a player sacrifices a permanent. So this card works with Bontu into... This card turns Bontu into a fireball of sorts. So Bontu can sacrifice your lands. So if you have Mayhem Devil out and you stick Bontu, you can just, like, turn every land you have in play into damage. Like, these two cards together just deal damage to you equal to the number of cards I have on my board. This card's, like, also pretty reasonable with Priest of the Forgotten Gods too, but I think this card alongside Bontu seems really sweet, so let's see how this goes. Yes, Bontu just sacks stuff. He'll take whatever you got. He's not picky. Hey, Fuzzy Jello. Check it in for the 3rd month in a row. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Yeah, Mayhem Devil triggers on opponent's deck. Someone asked about Dreadhorde Invasion. That might be an okay card. I can see that being fine. I think I want to just draw a card with Priest here. Have you considered running the red First Strike Hunted Witness? Yeah, we just don't have enough red sources in our mana base for that, Chalky. So this deck only has 12 red sources. Which is a little bit light to be able to trigger that effect consistently. So I could, like, wait to do this on my opponent's turn. But if I do that, I'm unable to get the Gutterbones back, because Gutterbones can only return on my turn. Tilt. This is a lot, you're not wrong, this is a lot prettier than the Mythic Championship. That was a widespread brutality. To be fair, widespread brutality there was infinitely better for us than Cry of the Canarium would have been, right? That's because Paper Magic is hard to watch, Fuzzy Jello. Even well-done Paper Magic tournaments are really difficult to follow. The future of competitive Magic is digital, and it's not close. We got you, Blitz. They are amassing quite the army over there. So one of the reasons why I elected to play out the Tithe Taker as opposed to the second Gutterbones here was because this way, if they had another sweeper, I'd have this token left over to hit them and pick this back up again, which is nice. I don't know. Maybe Dreadhorde Invasion is good. Again, like, if you want to talk about cards we should add to our deck, I'd encourage you to please recommend cards you think we should cut. The way Magic works is it's an incredibly complicated game where there's a lot going on. So oftentimes there are lots of different cards that can go into any given strategy.
My schemes are never ending.
Awesome, Face. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Wait, did that exile it? Ooh, alright, I punted. I'm glad I still have 5 power. I don't know why I thought that was sacrifice. Exile is better. We still get to kill this. We're probably in a bad spot here still. Think Stoneforge Mist would be too good for Modern? No, I don't. In fact, this emote here with the Stoneforge behind bars is an emote that we have to make fun of the fact that that card's banned. It's comical. Of course the opponent bricked on the Augur. Have you ever played that card before? It's a 1/3 that rearranges the bottom 3 cards of your deck. Personally, I hope they put 3 Nickel Bolas on the bottom of their deck.
I will remake the multiverse in my image. Conceivable. Let your weak minds crumble.
All right, so I think I send 2 here, and I send this one upstairs. And then I can pick this back up, replay it, and play Mayhem Devil.
Do not defy me.
I think 6 mana is a ton of mana. I think whenever you talk about a 6 mana, whenever people talk about 6 mana cards being powerful, my response is always like, yeah, of course it's powerful. The card costs 6 flipping mana. Like if you're 6 mana cards, Ali! I hope you had a wonderful long stream, bud. Thank you for the giant host. Welcome to folks coming over from Ali's channel. We are just getting started here today. Got a long day of standard best of 3 here. Looks like we're about to eat it to this Grixis control deck with our poor little aristocrats. One thing that is worth noting here is how much worse this Mayhem Devil was than a Judith would have been. Because I am playing 3 Devil and 3 Judith, and it's very possible that I should just have 4 Judith, 2 Devil. Not 100% on that. Duress is pretty good here. Theater seems fine. Angrath seems fine. I could see Despark being good here, although I guess they don't. My opponent's deck doesn't have Lyra in it. This I'd probably bring this in against Esper because I likely have Lyra and Hostage Taker, and that's a neat card. A neat angle of this card is like it takes Hostage Taker and their 5 mana Planeswalker. We've not cast a Bontu, so I don't have a good answer to your question yet. I'm gonna trim the Mortify. Yeah, Mayhem Devil is not a death trigger. It's when a permanent is sacrificed, so it's a little bit less potent than Judith in some spots, but has a little bit bigger body. I don't know, like, if I'm in a position where I can't attack Bolas for lethal, I'm probably just not winning that game anyways, Kenny. As part of what I would think. The new Niv Mizzet is very bad. Not a particularly playable. I'm gonna trim this. This effect's not super relevant here. Dan's like, okay. Theater. Worth noting that Theater of Horrors is very good against Grixis, because unlike Esper, they don't have Mortify to kill it. If their deck's built well, they probably have Ugin that can exile it eventually, but not before it'll draw us a few cards. Perfect. That's our missing color from when we draw white cards eventually. Do you have a thought erasure? Yikes. Is Midnight Reaper no longer viable in this deck? I'm gonna play Judith and smack them here. Golden Oreo Mini, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. One thing that is worth noting in here, am I gonna get cried? Just the devil, sure. Is that it's nice that Mayhem Devil doesn't die to cry. It's nice that Mayhem Devil doesn't die to cry. Also doesn't die to their 4-mana sweeper, the Widespread Brutality. Yeah, I'm not sure if Mayhem Devil is worth playing either. That's something that we have to, like, answer for ourselves by playing games. I mean, like, Bontu's lethal next turn. Yeah, seems neat. This can sacrifice our lands, chat. So they're actually just dead to lethal Bontu. Bontu's actually just lethal next turn. So if they don't have a counterspell or a discard spell here, they're dead. This is whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, and this sacrifices any permanents. Do you have a Disdainful Stroke? Oh, what better way to end the game, really? The croc stands alone. I don't know if this Mayhem Devil is good, but it's certainly sweet. Triggers. And, like, again, the question is, like, are these cards, like, individually, Bontu is a powerful card, right? So, like, if the Mayhem Devil is even somewhat playable without the without Bontu, like, it seems like it's worth having that powerful synergy in my deck. Have we played Scapeshift yet? We played a few really bad Scapeshift decks like last season, the season before. Oh, London Mulligan win. London Mulligan falling down, falling down, falling down. London Mulligan falling down, making more games. Alright, alright. It's not the untapped land, but we hit the color at least. We just yeeted our permanents at their face. Is that what we did? Counterspell is not too powerful for Modern. In fact, I'd argue Counterspell probably has very minimal impact on the format. Guslit, thank you for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What does yeet mean? When we figure it out, we'll let you know. I agree, Navier. The delve counterspell is close enough that it wouldn't change a whole lot. I miss the days of YOLO. I can understand that. It means to throw something away. So Bontu really did yeet there, huh? He yeeted our board at the opponent. Good guy, Bontu. Wow, the tempo. I mean, we're definitely behind on tempo, so we're gonna have to flip this ass canton next turn too. This guarantees them a land basically, because that flips over. They don't have the extra land for Nick though. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. I mean, a bunch of things killed us this game. We either needed like our first couple of lands to come into play untapped, or we needed to draw our third land on time, or our fourth land on time. Like, we stumbled in like a variety of ways this game. That's a biggin. Yep, yeah, the decks are listed in the title, generally the order in which we play them. This is pretty over. Let's move to the next one. I like sit here and flail around for a little bit, but we're not getting out of this. Yeah, the amass token does change as it gets bigger. The old lose one match, drop 300 spots. Oh, arena ladder. I think Enter the God Eternals is very good. It's like a Flame Tongue Kavu that Control's very interested in playing. Creatures that kill other creatures when they come into play are fantastic. It does change, Babylon. Sure. was a phenomenal draw. Simic Guildgate. Boo. Boo on you, Reclamation player. Boo. We have a good start here, though. Like, Gutter into Tithe into Judy is, like, pretty good. We do. Real decks have curves, chat. Oh, wait, what? Alright, alright. I take back my booze, opponent. I take back my booze. You're playing a brew. I think I'm not taking this trade, because I think whatever they're doing, Tithe Taker's probably pretty good against it. I don't know exactly what it is that they're doing yet, but this is probably pretty decent against it. I think I'm gonna Mayhem Devil here. It might be right to hold this back so it doesn't get Merfolk Trickstered. I don't know. I think assuming you know what your opponent's doing when they're playing a brew this early in the season is generally a mistake. Generally a recipe to get yourself into some trouble. Am I okay with them trading for this here? I think I am, right? Because they're just going to take infinite damage. It leaves a token behind. Yeah. It's got on the board super quick there. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Spark's probably not great because they likely have counterspells. This makes me sacrifice the thing even if it doesn't resolve. I don't know how creature-based versus how spell-based they are. Maybe Duress could be good. Oh, this card exiles Reclamation too, doesn't it? God bless you, Despark. I think this card's gonna be a sideboard staple in every deck that has these colors of mana. Exiling Rekindling Phoenix is no small thing either. I mean, like, we don't know how to sideboard, but, like, we're starting up a game, so, like, that's not the worst. It exiles Arclight Phoenix, too. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. I was going to bring in a couple of Duresses. Our deck's kind of proactive, so, like, when you're playing against deck, you don't really know what they're doing. Less is more tends to be a good strategy. Because you don't want to dilute your primarily proactive game plan, like trying to be interactive with interaction that ends up not being good. You are likely never beating Cry. I think you can position yourself to beat Kaya's Wrath in some games, especially on the back of Duress, but you probably can never hope to beat a Cry at the Carrion Skip Dash. I agree with that. Turn 2. This is like our best start 2 games in a row, so really can't complain here. Afternoon Styles. Alright, what you working with? And Planeswalkers, right? Like it exiles a bunch of the good Planeswalkers. Alright, turns out Duress is a good sideboard card. And this is the worst part about the ladder. Like, we lost and dropped, like, 350 spots, and then we won and only jumped 150. So it's like, every time you lose, you have to, like, win twice as much to get it back. I guess we'll never know. Would you Duress sooner if they were playing black for fear of Cry? Maybe. With drawing the 3rd land guaranteed, I think I lead on Priest, because it means I can Tithe Taker plus Hunted Witness next turn. Yeah, buddy. Bye, Felicia. I appreciate someone who understands when it's over. That's something I can get behind. Wow, alrighty. Alrighty, well, they've had enough of our stuff, I guess. Maybe can we play a full match? I feel like we've played 3 matches, but we've like only played like a match and a quarter. I did win 2, and we're actually still not back to where we were when we lost. So we won 2 in a row there, and we're still lower than when we lost the last one. It's just playing best of 1. How many cards am I missing from War? I have no idea. Probably few enough that I can craft whatever we need with wild cards. And if I get to a point where I need a card that we don't have, I just give Wizards more money. I mean, to be fair, untapping with Priest generally means you win the game in the creature matchups. It's very, very good. Every time someone plays Breeding Pool, I'm just like immediately apprehensive. Just like, you're one of them Reclamation players, aren't you? Yeah, one of the best perks of doing the job that I do is that all of my arena purchases are tax deductible, so I just give them endless money until I have everything we need. That link should take care of you, Zazie. I think I'm gonna attack for 2 and just play Double Hunted Witness this turn. Yeah, and like, I spend, because this is my job, I spend more in Arena than the average person, right? Because I don't even just have all the competitive decks, like, my collection encompasses every meme possible as well. Great, don't fiery cannonade me, bro. Listen, I have a tax-deductible owl costume hanging in my closet as well. This job is great. It's all about work. Jobs are all about the perks and bennies, chat. I mean, if they have cannonade, they're not taking a hit from these tokens this turn, because they'll do it on my turn here. Of course it's a nice owl costume. Love taps, baby love taps, baby love taps, baby love taps, baby. Do 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 do. Beep, 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 beep. I could have mortified my own. Why would I want to mortify my own dude? By bennies, do you mean benefits, Benjamins, or both? Why? Yeah, I think that's a why not both instance, Beetle. So, before anyone suggests it, if I mortify my own Gutterbones, they still draw the cards. So I am not going to mortify my own Gutterbones here. Alright, how many idiots am I sacrificing here? I think it's at least 1 land. Yeah, so the key there to know that they'll still draw the cards is this card has 2 targets. So if you kill one of the targets, it still has another. That's true. I could sack 2 lands. I'm pretty likely to draw another land. I think I want to bin at least one of these. Pretty likely to draw another land, he says. Yikes. This card's also just, like, Xbox huge. Like, it's a 5/6. Kids today probably don't get the Xbox huge reference. Consoles are small these days. That's true. They could cast Reclamation and then we'd be done. Or Nexus. Yay! Yay, Magic! Yay, Magic! OG Xbox was a unit. Yeah, we used to measure... Maybe that was just a thing my group of friends did, but we used to measure things based on the size of game consoles. Are you dead yet? Oh no! And they're gonna untap and like kick a Shivan Fire on this Bontu. Oh yeah, that's completely reasonable and beatable. I think I decline this. Yeah, I discarded 2 lands to the Bontu, assuming we draw more. It just never happened. And I mean, I guess I could do this. Losing my religion. I could, it might be right to Tithe Speaker and pray, that's true. Whenever I lose a game with my opponent at 1 life, I'm always just like, did I miss a point somewhere? Like if I go back and check the tape, I gotta find like on turn 2 or turn 3 I gotta like push an extra point in. So this is probably not a Bontu matchup, which probably means it's not a Mayhem Devil matchup. Although the fact that this survives Fiery Cannonade is kind of appealing. I think it's important that I leave Priest of the Forgotten Gods in here because my opponent sometimes boards into a creature plan. I'm gonna trim a couple of these because outside of its trigger, it's not super potent. Like this adds power to the board at least. How's the devil been so far? I think the jury's out. It's funny with Bontu. I trimmed a Mortify. Like, obviously you want to get rid of Wilderness Reclamation, but like that last game's a good example of like drawing too much interaction and not enough pressure means you're not going to win the game. So like the opponent's deck has such an incredible massive redundancy in cards that draw cards that you need a mix of disruption and pressure. And I'm boarding in 4 copies of Duress as well, so... So I have 4 Duress, 2 Despark, and 2 Mortify as ways to be interactive. One of the things that's really sweet about Bontu that this format was kind of missing is that one of the things we've talked about before in mid-range decks is that mid-range decks that don't get to play Hydrate Crisis didn't have a good tool to help them recover when they flood out. And because Bontu can sacrifice lands, any mid-range deck that can't play Hydrate Crisis but has black to play Bontu has this kind of recovery mechanic in the mid to late game if they've drawn too many lands, because Bontu lets you turn those lands back into meaningful resources. That's an interesting thing that he kind of does for the format generically. You have any reclamation lists in the queue? I don't think so, and I'm probably not going to accept any. Playing, when we fired up, we played Team of Reclamation for 2 matches yesterday, and I kid you not, when we loaded the Team of Reclamation deck, I lost over 10% of my viewers. Not only is it tedious to play, but it's tedious to watch. It just doesn't really make for good content. Woof. So that's a 1-3. How do we ever beat a 1-3? How do we ever beat a 1-3? Yeah, it's a 1-3 and it drew a card. That's busted. The Memekin deck does have a ton of decision points. That is definitely true. Yeah, I mean, like, Augur's a good card when, like, the 1-3 stat line is good for sure. And this is definitely a matchup where the 1-3 stat line is pretty good. My gut instinct after playing a few matches with this deck, and like looking at the format and the things people are playing so far, is I would kind of be surprised if my conclusion this season, even with Cruel Celebrant, ends up being different than this archetype last season, which is just that playing these Aristocrat styles decks where you're sacrificing creatures with this super aggressive slant doesn't really feel like the space they want to be occupying. It feels to me like this archetype wants to be a little bit more grindy, mid-range, controlling access to the spectrum, as opposed to, like, trying to get under people. Like, the other aggressive decks in the format are just so much better at being aggro decks than this archetype could ever dream of. Dakazoom, thanks for re-upping your Prime support this way. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Alrighty. And like, even though we're flooding, we're kind of pressuring them here, but we might just not get another turn. Wonder if they have a cannonade here. Gutterbones just like slowly trucking along. They're down to 4. The problem is, like, last game, right? They, like, stabilized at 1 and weren't able to get the last few points across the finish line, so it just, like, didn't matter.
The lightning.
We're just not going to all right, 2 and 2 on the day on the ladder, dropped 500 positions. There's kind of an opt-out option for Reclamation decks. Best of one is a roundabout opt-out option. Catch you later, Twin. We'll be here. Yeah, there was something similar you could do last season without the Sorin Buccanet. But yeah, it's just too slow. Sorin is very good in Abzan hero. One of the things the hero deck really felt like it lacked on occasion was a way to gain life, and Sorin does that very well. All right. Find out if they're playing a control deck or if they are mono blue. Ideally, they're mono blue because Priest just dumpsters that deck. Oh, it's another Reclamation deck. How much longer till Vanafear? This one and maybe one more. Depends on how long this takes. Do I want to activate Priest here? I think I do. Do we have more payoffs than just Priest? Like, what are their I'm not convinced we have more payoffs than just Priest after playing these games. Could you bump the Sark and build around? Definitely, Croaker. Thanks for the support. Yep, yeah, Deckmaster was updated. Bontu's a payoff of sorts. Bontu, I don't know that Bontu really satisfies the condition of being a payoff on his own, though, because, like, in order for him to be really good, he requires you to have a bunch of other cards. So, like, he's a card that's powerful, but only if everything else is also kind of going your way, if that makes sense. He does help you recover from flooding a little bit, though, which is nice. Like I said, I'm sure we're going to play a variety of Aristocrats decks so far this season, but my initial reaction from playing this deck so far is that I am really not convinced that this deck built like this is better than building it as a... it's better than building it as a more mid-range deck that's less aggressive. I'm going to start conceding match when I see a Growth Spiral hit the stack. God bless.
I know I noted this somewhere.
How do you bump decks? Whenever you donate $1 or more using the Streamlabs link down below the stream, or you cheer 100 bits or more in chat, you can assign them towards a deck in my queue to move it on up. Well, and part of the reason why I moved towards playing the more mid-range configurations last season, like straight black-white, like you'll still find on my website, is the fact that decks like this, between Judith, between the Celebrant, between the Mayhem Devil, these decks have a lot of individually weak cards. So when your deck's not working as a sum of its parts, it leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know that the Liliana's good. I feel like the Liliana's probably just worse than Bontu, because Bontu's a little bit more flexible. Like, Liliana's a card that's like, it costs so much mana, and it takes a while for it to get going. J-Free TV, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
I follow the tracks of the wise.
To me, Judith, Celebrant, and Bontu all need to be dealt with. I don't know that I strictly agree with that. My favorite deck and the one that felt the strongest are the same, actually. The Ral inside of Memekin felt very reasonable. What am I trimming here? I think this is too expensive at the top end. I think I like Mayhem Devil here just because it's a 3/3. It also gives me a little bit of reach outside of combat because my opponent's likely playing Root Snare and other fog type effects. I don't know, Mr. Panda Gaming, but we're going to find out. I have a blue-red Phoenix deck that has both Ral and Saheeli inside of it that we're going to get to at some point. Probably not till Monday or Tuesday based on where it's at in the queue, though. Hard to know for sure, because people always like to bump and add things. This hand wants a shock land, but it's like pretty good if it finds one. Hey, Anima, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Can I bump the Gate Friends deck? You definitely can. Thanks for the support. How much would it take to bring it into today? I only add decks or cut decks into the current day stream for large donation. So if you ever want to cut a deck that's already in the queue into the current day, it's a $50 donation. And again, that's large to discourage people from doing that because I like my schedule to be predictable for people. Alright, well, they got a whole lot of nothing going on. And their hand is all good spells because they don't have any lands. Hey, let's try one more here. My opponent's deck really didn't accomplish a lot. You try Cruel Harpooners? Yeah, I can see that. Harpooners is a good card. It is good with Pig too, isn't it? As it comes into play attacking and then gets its trigger. What if someone wanted to cut a build around into the day? $100. I also put cutting build-arounds into live with the asterisk that decks that get built live on stream tend to be worse on average than decks that I build off stream, because I tend to build them more quickly because downtime while building decks tends to be bad content. Whereas off stream I can take my time, do a little research, see what other people are playing in similar archetypes, and then add my take based on what other people have done as well. I mean, to be fair, Reclamation decks don't really generate particularly interactive games of Magic, so like, they're a part of the format. Just is what it is. They're not going anywhere. A lot of the sweet things this format brings with it, or this new set brings with it, are these kind of mid-rangey things that are very bad against Wilderness Reclamation. Well, remember, if your deck ever gets played while you're not here to catch it live, everything always ends up on the YouTube channel later. They're actually almost dead even if they Kaya's Wrath, right? If they Kaya's Wrath, they take 4. Actually, they are dead. Kaya's Wrath kills them because they take 4 and then I only get 3 1/1s. I don't know exactly what they're doing. All I've done is cast Thought Erasure. My head goes to control as opposed to mid-range, so they haven't done anything, but definitely control. I wonder if they were thinking about just conceding there. Like, they're dead on board, so they probably should. Because, like, they've confirmed that they're a control deck for me now. Laughing Riot, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Funk. Duress is good. Despark sounds great. Theater and Angrath are fine. I think Spark Harvest and Mortify probably come out. I'm going to cut Hunted Witness as well because this card's pretty bad against Cry. It doesn't generate any value there. Laughing Riot and Mr. Tumac, welcome back. Thanks for shipping your Prime this way again. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your weekend. I think I'm going to trim 1 Priest. Despark is very good. It tags Teferi, tags Lyra, tags Hostage Taker, tags Wilderness Reclamation, tags both Phoenixes. Does a lot in the format in general. It's very good against Esper, but it does a lot in the format in general. Alright, there's the audio distortion. We'll restart here real quick. I must have forgotten to restart before I went live. So I had the client open, poking around in it. I'll restart after I take my first turn. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also pretty great. Buy their stuff. Back to your regularly scheduled Magic Arena. And the last patch made it so the colors don't go wonky and we don't lose our sleeves when we reconnect. So that's an update. Oh, you know what? This is actually a pretty big mistake. I actually played the wrong land on one. I should have led on Dragonskull Summit because this doesn't come into play untapped off of a Plains. So I should have played this. It's probably not going to matter because I have a bunch of 2-mana spells, but there's something to note here. I played Tithe Taker on 2 rather than one of my other 2-drops, because if my opponent had a Mortify or a Cast Down, they wouldn't have been able to kill this that turn, which is nice. Hey, Sin3, thank you for the 2-month resub, and Cadnet, thank you for the 3-month. Welcome back, folks. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Is Jeskai Hero in the deck queue? It is not currently. Yeah, Ral Memekin was the deck of the day. Remember, if you're ever looking back, I know I play a lot of Magic and it's tough to watch all of it. If you head on over to my website and you click videos, favorite, every single day I tag 1 or 2 decks, depending on how long we stream and how good they are, that were my favorite deck of the day. So if you just want to see the best of the best, whether it's watch the replay or just get the deck list, you can always find that on my site. I think I just go double spell here, just like Celebrant, attack for 1, leave the priest up. I think the priest is going to eat it, though. Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate your organization, it's impressive. Well, I appreciate your support. Folks, the folks at home are wonderful enough to allow this to be my job. I figure the least I can do is treat it like one. The thing that always annoys me the most when I'm like, trying like, because I watch a lot of Twitch too, right? Whether it's for enjoyment or just like seeing what other people are doing to get good ideas for myself. I'm always super annoyed when like people can't even be bothered to like update their stream title or like post what deck they're playing on Stream Decker. It's like, come on now. Can we do the bare minimum? Give me the info I crave. So anything that I wish other streamers would do, I always try and make sure and do myself. What would I do for a $50,000 donation? Absolutely nothing unless it was a cashier's check that was guaranteed to clear. I ain't new. Necrobeard, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Or bits, that's true. Bits are guaranteed. That's true. I would accept bits. Bits are great. I think I'm gonna draw 2 here. And I know I said this last time when we got punished, but like, I'm pretty likely to draw another land here, so I think sacking a land is fine. $50G buys you a politician. Why are you buying streamers? Yikes. Contrary to my hairline, I am not old enough to be president. There's age requirements on those things. It's 35. That's probably fair, Necro. I wonder what the stats are on that, right? Like how many people that end up doing what I do here are like people that have like actual professional experience in their background. So I think I just want to double spell this turn as opposed to jamming another Seraph, because I think there's a good chance they have a counterspell here again. And honestly, if they let this Gutterbones resolve, I might just pass. What do we think of just passing here? Is that crazy? I think I like just passing. drops! Ah! Stupid application. So, for people that are wondering why I'm upset with Magic Arena, I didn't get my stop there soon enough because it didn't give me a chance to respond to Moment of Craving, and I should have been able to pay 2 mana and bring this back to my hand at the end of my last turn. Which, that difference very likely loses us the game here. I would have been able to play Seraph plus Gutterbones this turn. I like that Theater of Horrors is a card that's proactive to Sunhouse. I also think this archetype tends to consistently have enough to do with its mana that something like Argyl's Bloodfast isn't something it can leverage appropriately. Especially with something like Bontu being able to sacrifice for extra lands now, Argyl's Bloodfast doesn't sound particularly appealing. I think there's a good chance we're not winning this game anyways, but we definitely would have, like, I think they might tuck this here, and, like, if I had this Gutterbones in play, they wouldn't be able to make this play because this Gutterbones would just kill their Teferi here. But that's not true, Zauzi, because you don't get a chance to respond to them casting their spells. It's literally an APM thing, and one of the other things is that Arena doesn't accurately visually represent where you are in the turn. So, like, it doesn't actually, like, what's on your screen and where the server is in the actual turn cycle are two different things. We might punk them out here with Mayhem Devil plus Bontu. We might punk them out here with the God-Eternal. Yes, the things that are going on resolve on the server before they ever appear on my screen.
We could figure a way out of this. How you played and
Yeah, like, the issue was that it just rolled right through the moment, because I didn't have any game actions that I could take, so it didn't give me a chance to respond to it, is basically what happened. If they don't have a removal spell or a counter spell here, they're dead. I just fireball them for 8. Well, they have both. Sure. Yep. It's weird how many cards they have when their Teferi lives because the client screwed us out of the stop. Yeah, exactly. Hits. The server's already moved on. If you never get priority, the server doesn't register you doing anything. I'm like, I'm honestly very impressed with how well they have automated a bunch of the smoothness of the game, but little things like that definitely need a little bit more work on how the auto-passing works. I mean, like, we weren't guaranteed to win that game if we got the Gutterbones back, but we were basically guaranteed to lose it because we didn't. Seems like okay. It's like tapped lands into Gutterbones, tapped land into Mayhem Devil. I think I still do this. Sit down for a bit, enjoy the ride. My My piece of poop desk would go all the way down, that is. Hey, look at that. My opponent cast a 1/3 that had no other text. That's sweet. I'm playing Modern tonight. What color combination should I play? Teamer. Because I want you to lose. Sticking Seraph here is nice because next turn I have 5 mana and I have a 3 and a 2, so I can double spell next turn. Lead on this because it reduces the number of things my opponent can do inside of combat. Games with Rain, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I actually didn't buy that domain. One of my subs set that up for me, and they're great. Domains are cheap if no one owns them already. It's like 12 bucks for a year. How is Mayhem Devil performing? Do you think he would be spicy as treasure map and other black-red cards? I think just treasure map plus Bontu might be enough to enable Mayhem Devil potentially. Who are you paying for domains if no one owns them? That's a semi-complicated question that I don't have the tools to answer offhand, so I'm going to encourage you to Google it, how all that works.
Hurry!
All right, well, I mean, I can potentially kill their Teferi next turn. And they're at 18 still, so killing their Teferi sounds pretty appealing. Lets them eat my Tithe Taker, but I think that's a fair trade. They can't cast Seal Away because Tithe Taker's in play. The only Jared, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Gaia's Wrath leaves me in a pretty bad spot. Despark, brutal. Oh. That card's real good. I didn't deal damage to my opponent, JVL. I had killed their Teferi, so I couldn't pick Gutterbones back up. Cute. I'm only got 5 cards in there. If their hands kind of poop, we do have them dead in 2. And even if I just get 1 hit in here, it's pretty good for us. I'm kind of not expecting this Duress to see much. Wow, okay. Absorb is better than I could have hoped. And I guess I play this out because they have a Thought Erasure. The Duress there does mean their search gets to flip, so that's something. Yeah, not only is Gutterbones only work on my turn, but Gutterbones only works if you dealt damage to your opponent. They did not have the blue to absorb my Duress there. That is getting pretty close to lethal. They block Gutterbones and they still take 1, which is sweet. Any predictions about the top 4 for the Mythic Championship? No, not really. The fact, one of the things you need to remember about paper Mythic Championships is that they're split format tournaments. So, like, the actual people that have good finishes doesn't even mean their modern decks were good. It could mean they had a good run in Limited. Pretty sick. Thanks for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, they cut to top 8, but eventually, they get down to 4. Life, all damage is life loss. Not all life loss is damage. When I say damage, Gutterbones works for damage. So what I said is accurate. Hot guy. All things considered, I mentioned this during the video, but I like to have a wrap up at the end too. I really kind of feel like even with the addition of this card and Bontu, actually it's mostly just this card, I feel like even with this card, this archetype just isn't served super well acting as this aggressively slanted archetype. I really kind of feel like being more mid-range and controlly and interactive is the place where I'd rather be. I feel like compared to what the other aggressive decks in the format have to offer, this deck just has too many individually weak components when we try and build it like this, that like when you get picked apart by removal, your leftovers are just like kind of embarrassing. I do think that if I were to play this again and keep trying, I think I wanted to play 3 Mayhem Devils to see how they felt, but I do think I would like the fourth Judith over the 3rd Mayhem Devil. But again, I think if I were to continue working on Aristocrats, I would push away from this 3-color shell and work on tuning up the straight black-white shell that we had been playing previously. They all die at once. You do not choose the order in which they go.